Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Just give me a couple of seconds here. Hi, post in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to give it a few minutes so people can join. And then we'll bring up Marcia to discuss her health journey with us. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. All right, great. So today we're going to be talking about, of course, health. I'm a nutrition lawyer, and we're going to be talking about health and wellness and how you can get your health in order to live a longer, happier, more fulfilling existence. Okay. And one of the people that is on our nutrition lawyer program is Marcia. And so she's going to be joining us shortly. All right. So one of the things that I want to discuss with everybody is the state of Black women's health. All right. And the obesity epidemic that we're suffering from. So because of the statistics say basically 4 out of 5 Black women are overweight or obese in the United States. And what that means is that there is all these diseases that are associated with being overweight or obese. These diseases are stroke, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. All right. So, in looking at the National Institutes of Health statistics, it's really grim for Black women. And so, what we're trying to do with our program is to get our health in order. When you get healthier, you're going to lose weight, and you're going to basically avoid, prevent, or stop these health issues from happening to us, right? So that's the purpose of our program, is to get us in shape and get us healthy. All right. So Marcia is one of the people that's on our program, and she's going to be coming up to talk to us about her journey and how this has helped or not improved her existence. Right. So give me 1 second so we can get her up. If anybody has any questions, please post it in the chat. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Just give me 1 sec. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Hi, Wealth Creation. Thanks for joining. Okay, so our special guest is going to be up shortly to discuss her wealth. Her wealth. That's actually a really good faux there because it actually is literally about wealth, right? Health is actually currency. So health is actually currency. Literally is money, right? I mean, if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how banging you are and what a bomb you are because you're going to just be dying early. So, and the money's not going to be able to save you. So we have to kind of rescue ourselves from now so that we have longevity and happiness. All right. So statistics show right now that you can live to be 150 years old. Right. I was actually shooting for 120. There's a quiz. I'll send you guys that link. There's a quiz that you can take to see your lifespan, to see how long you're gonna live based on your nutrition and your lifestyle in terms of your activities, etc. And I took that quiz and it said I was gonna live to be 104. And I was very upset. Okay, I was very upset because I want to be at least 120. so so it was definitely off for me. I think other people are probably very happy 104, but I was not happy 104. Okay, so I'm looking to live to be at least 120. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to live to be 120 because it's, everybody is dead and I'm probably going to be laying in the bed and decrepit. But think about it, if you could be 120 and you would still be active and vibrant like you're at 50 or 60, then you wouldn't be opposed to 120, right? So that's the goal. The goal is definitely to make sure that we live a long, healthy life and that we're upright and active and all of that. And you can be doing that at 120. A couple of years ago, there was a woman in Jamaica. At that time, she was the oldest known person alive, and she was 118. And the lady was upright in her garden, picking her veggies and her fruits and whatnot, cooking in a whole bit, taking care of her 95-year-old son, I think. So definitely possible. And we just have to take the proper steps to make sure that we eat well, we live well, and enjoy life, right? I'm saying hello to folks. Again, if you have any questions before we bring up Marcia, please put it in the chat. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I'm having a little bit of a lighting issue today. Okay, so one of the things I want to discuss with you all is we're having a challenge. We're having a challenge starting tomorrow with our program. It is the Nutrition Lawyer Protein Challenge. Okay. And in this challenge, you're basically going to be eating only protein. I don't know if I posted it. I need to post that challenge. You're only going to be eating protein and a little bit of healthy fat for the next 5 days. And we start the challenge tomorrow. It's going to go until the 15th, till Friday. So it's Monday through Friday. And you'll be eating 1 to 2 meals a day of protein until you're satisfied. Okay. It's hard to overeat on protein because Really and truly, it's just not, you're just not going to continue eating when you're stuffed. So, and protein is actually quite filling. So, so I think it's a great challenge. I did the challenge a couple of weeks ago for 3 days, and it was fantastic. And I felt really good, like a lot of energy. Um, I lost 2 pounds every day, and I just felt really great. My skin cleared up. It looked really like it was a nice challenge. So this is why I'm doing it again, and I'm going to push it for another 2 days. So we're going to do it for 5 days. So if you want to join that challenge, let us know, um, and we're happy to help you along. All right. Hi, Gray Pill. Great to see you. Okay. Nobody can hear. Can people hear me? I need to maybe take off the headset. How is the sound now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, great. I took the headset off. I'm not sure. I thought that people could hear me earlier. They said they could hear me. Um, just give me 1 sec, please. Okay, I was muted apparently. All right, I don't need the headset. That's good to know. My lighting is an issue today, but the mic is working, so that's a plus. Okay, only one person said they're not hearing me. Everybody else says they're hearing me. Someone is. Thank you, thank you. We're trying to do the thing. We're trying to do the thing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. So we're waiting on our guests to join us. Give me 1 moment, please. Okay. Yeah. Wealth creation, I think it's on your end. It's on your end. All right. So our protein challenge is Monday through Friday. So let me know if you're joining. We just finished our monthly 3-day fast. So if you're part of our program, we also have a monthly 3-day fast. It's basically a detox. It's a water and tea fast. We generally have it the first through the third of the month, unless there's some kind of holiday, and we may push it back to maybe like the fifth of the month or something like that. But it's for 72 hours, okay? And it's water and tea, and there's a fasting drink that we can make as well, which is consists of turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, lemon or lime juice, and then you can drink that throughout the day. But we're not consuming any food or any juices or anything like that on the monthly fast. Okay, it's a fast that I've been doing for 3.5 years now. I've been doing that fast, so it's a pretty wonderful detox. Okay, and the last few months I've been doing it personally as a dry fast. So I don't do water or tea or anything. No consumption of anything. So that's not another one of our programs that we have. All right. So Marcia, who is our special guest today, is a part of this program, and she has been doing our monthly fasts and our challenges that we have as well. Part of the reason why I have the challenges is to sort of get your mind right in terms of having control and charge of what you eat, right? Because if we don't have our mind right, meaning that we don't control our own minds, then the food controls us, right? And the food is like a drug, really. Sugar is literally a drug. It literally alters your brain like heroin does. So this sugar drug, okay, and all the other things that we eat that we have to eat, like people say, I can't give up this and I can't give up that. And I'm like, if it's between mango is my favorite fruit, okay? So if it's between me and mango for my health, I'm choosing me. I'm picking me. That's just how it is. So without further ado, um, that's why I do the challenges. It's actually to help you, to train you, to get your mind right and be in control of your own health and your wellness and your weight. All right. Without further ado, we're going to bring up Marcia, who has been a part of our program, and she's going to tell us about her journey. All right. So, one moment.
It says she's
And
joining.
she's going to tell us about her journey. All right. So, hi, Marcia.
Janai, don't leave yet.
Marcia, we can hear you. Hi.
Yes, please.
We can hear you. Hi, Marcia.
Okay, hi.
Can you hear me?
How is everyone doing?
We're great. It's great to have you. Join us.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I'm having some lighting issues and whatnot, but the sound is working. We're great. It's great to have you. Join us. Can you hear me? I can hear you perfectly. I'm having some lighting issues and whatnot, but the sound. There's a little bit of a delay. So, Marcia, can you hear me okay? Marcia, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, great. So, Marcia, tell us who you are and what's going on with your health. I hear an echo in your. I hear an echo. Can you turn off the other
Oh,
sound because I hear an echo?
hello.
Yes. Hi, Marcia. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been on the program and and
Okay,
and, and how it's working?
this has taken me quite a while to get on because I'm not familiar with the system. But yeah, I'm Marcia, and I joined with Nutrition Lawyer Channel sometime this year. Um, I guess it's probably around September, right? I'm not quite sure exactly when it was, but I came on because I was looking for some answers. And I've been searching for answers and could not find any. And everything I tried was not working.
What were you trying to do? And you said you were looking for answers. What were you trying to do? What
I was
answers were you looking
looking,
for?
a- actually, it was more health wise, um, not necessarily weight loss, you know. Yeah, I was ballooned, really. But my my concern was deeper than health, as I mean weight loss. So what really happened is I realized that after taking my injection, I had to take two. We all had to take two because you are first and foremost, I didn't want to, contract COVID, and secondly, I didn't want to die from it. So and I didn't want to lose my job, and that was something. It was mandatory to get the vaccine or the injection. So I decided, like, I'll take it because number one, we never want dead from COVID. So after getting it, I got my first dose in. Gotta look at my paper. In August of 2021, and I didn't have any reaction to that dose. It was fine. And then I got my second dose in September of 21. Everything went good. Everything felt good. And then the next thing I know, after September of 21, around December, around December, I started having some spotting. I'm 63 years old, so I've been past menopause for years. I, I'm post menopause. So when I'm starting to see this spotting, I immediately felt that there's something wrong here. And I immediately associated that spotting with actually the vaccination. So I said, okay. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but it was concerning. And month after month after that, I was having cramps. Like,
So did you go to your doctor, because that's very concerning, especially at your age? So did you see your doctor and speak to your doctor about what was happening, and was there any sort of diagnosis?
and initially I did. Initially I did, but when I did at the first time, it was like all these talk about ovarian cancer and this and that, you know. So
Okay, so
I'm
the
like,
C
oh,
word was mentioned, which is
yes,
very,
it
very
could be.
scary.
Well, they never said it was, but
Hmm.
it was a concern that it could
Right,
be. It could develop
right.
into that situation, whatever that was. But I did, you know, it was not, it was just a regular general checkup. So,
Okay.
and you know, I was letting them know that, you know, there's this partying going on. And, you know, actually, I was
Hmm.
feeling the cramps like I would be having a menstrual, you know, and I've not that in years. So I'm like, okay. So when they told me that, I said, you know what? I don't want them to start treating me for anything because, as far as I know, when people start getting treated for something, then everything goes haywire. And I wasn't ready for a treatment for that, or for, you know, from any doctor. I wanted to do more studies. I wanted to learn some more about what was going on. And so I kind of chill, you know, because I work, my schedule is tight. And one of the things, you know, let's know, we need to pay attention to our lives. You know, we have to work our wage and pay attention to who we are, because I was still trying to work, you know, focusing more on job. And my work is not stressful, but I, you know, I keep going to my job and I like it. And I didn't want to, you know, break down my scheduling. So I kept going. So then I started to pray to God. I said, you know what, Father, I know you're the healer and I know you have some answers for me. And I need you to show me what to do, because whatever is going on is not normal and it's not natural. And if it's not natural, there must be something to help this, to get this back in, you know, order. And but I prayed for the first time. I really prayed. I really went to God and said, I need your help. And in like 3 days after that, I got an invitation from Nutrition Lawyer to join this group. And I came in. And I had many questions, myriad questions, because I know it was talking about losing weight and all that stuff, but keywords that you mentioned were wellness, body reset, you know, health, and, you know, so trying to reset your body and making sure that you know that you can eat your way to wellness, because you ate your way to disaster. So you can eat your way to wellness. And I came on all the time because in my spirit, I felt like this must be the answer. I've listened to many people talk about losing weight and this and that, but personally, I never trust. Yeah, I don't trust people telling me stuff because I don't know what they're doing. Some people are liposuctioning and telling you to eat. They're not being true and they're not being real. And there are people following these people every day, doing what they're saying to do and not getting the results because they are doing other things that they're not telling you. So I know that I'm not here to follow everyone with what they're saying. I need to follow someone that I can trust. And lo and behold, here you come. And when I saw you, I said, well, I know this girl. I know what she's doing. I can see that what she's doing, whatever she's doing is working. And I am so interested in this wellness part of the situation. So I'm going to start doing things. And for the first time, I never could fast. It's something I couldn't do. I could not, I couldn't fast to save my life. And I told you that. And you said one thing that triggered so powerfully. You said you don't always have to be stuffing food down your throat all the time. When you said that, you kind of chuckled, but that was a statement that meant everything to me because that's what I was doing. I was eating everything in my eyesight. It didn't matter.
Mm.
In my job, they have this big bowl of candies, and I love them. And every morning I go in, I fill my two jacket pockets. I fill my two jacket pockets with candy. What do you call it?
They give you
Hershey's and
they
chocolate.
give you they give you candy as a treat, right? It's a reward. All that sugar that's poisoning your system is a reward for good work.
Well, maybe they've been good, but it's
They
hard.
don't know that. I'm sure they don't know. I don't think they know that it's actually really unhealthy.
Girl, so let me tell you, I no one told listen, it's there for the taking. No one tells me to fill my two jacket pockets. But every morning religiously I get in the office, I fill my two jacket pockets with my favorite chocolates, Hershey's, whatever they are. And of course I keep ballooning and nothing matters because I'm doing my job. I'm still at the top.
Yeah, you're
My age
slaying it
didn't
at
stop
work.
me.
You're slaying it at work.
I'm still making it work. I'm still
Awesome.
getting my claps, you know. But down inside,
Yes.
I need a change. I need something. And yeah, when you came and you started to talk to me, and then you were talking so heavily about fasting, and I'm like, can she not just tell me about fasting because I can't do it? And
Right.
I was telling you that I cannot fast to save my life. Can you? I need something else. And you said you have to fast to reset. Reset has to fast. Your body needs to. And I remember the first day I fasted. Like, wow, what a journey. And I completed a whole day of fasting. And I kept going. And one of the things that I love about the Nutrition Lawyer program is that you're not telling me to buy food that I cannot afford. You see, some people are telling you to have this and that, but what kind of pocket must I have to buy these things? But when I came to
Right.
your channel, it was just so simple stuff that I have every day in my fridge, in my
Right.
cupboard, and it was so simple. I said, "There's nothing to stop me now. I'm going to do this. This is reasonably simple." And I started the journey. It's challenging, I must admit, nutrition lawyer. I still have I still have a problem sustaining. You know, staying on top of stuff. But for the most part, I'm on it.
So there are moments where you fall off,
Oh yeah,
right? You fall off the
absolutely.
wagon
Hmm.
and you have to and maybe you go through a binging period and you have to regroup and come back to center, right?
Oh yeah. And I'm glad there's a
And
center to come back to at all
yes,
times. Because it's
yes,
without the center to come back to, then you will just keep going off. But when there you can always come back to the feeding tree. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you for being that feeding tree. So I come back to get some more wisdom and knowledge and understanding and how to just navigate this on a more sustainable way.
And what's
But
been
long story
happening
short,
now? What's
mhm.
been happening now, though? You've been on the program for a few months. So what's been happening now with your health in
Well,
terms of your weight loss, but also more importantly, what was happening with
girl,
this
let
I
me
don't know
tell
what
you.
what's happening in terms of the menopause reset. I'm
Yeah,
not
like
sure. But
premenopause
what's
again, like
yes,
going
what
back,
was happening?
like going back. But like say, I realized that this was happening, but I was losing weight. I was losing weight to the point where a customer of mine came in and she said to me, "What have you been doing?" I'm like, "Well, nothing except just eat. I'm just following the nutrition lawyer." And she said, "Well, whatever you're doing with the nutrition lawyer, you better continue to do it because you're looking great." I said, "Thank you." And I wanted her to tell you for me because sometimes you couldn't see me. You didn't see me before I started the challenge, and you couldn't see me. And so I wanted her to tell you what she saw. And I said, "Could you tell my nutrition lawyer what you're telling me?" And she said, "Sure." And I called you up and I said, "Listen to what this person is saying." And she was telling you, you know, something that I didn't want to tell you myself. I not that I couldn't, but coming from someone else felt so much better. I was having three chins. Like my chin was down here, like too heavy, too much. My neck. I could do that now, but it's more clarity here. If I want to make that chin come down here, I have to do it myself. But that was one of the things that I noticed the first, and now my body started feeling better. And then that was after that moment I realized that I wasn't feeling these cramps anymore. They were not coming. The first month, and that was in, I said to you, after I wasn't feeling it again, that's when I told you. I said, "Wow, this is interesting because after taking the injections, about 3 months later, I start having these spottings, you know, and at one point, I never actually had a period, but the constant pain, like, and normally when I was having periods, I never had cramps. That's the weirdest thing. I never had them, but I was feeling these cramps, and in 3 months, and you pointed it out to me because it was around the same time that I started the challenge, the fasting, and all that. And you turned to me and said, "That's a 90 days reset." Because I wasn't experiencing the cramps anymore. I wasn't experiencing the spotting. My energy had gone through the roof. I was feeling so good. I feel like I'm getting better every day, and I'm like, damn, you know
You
what's
had a
going
new
on in
attitude.
life?
You had a new attitude.
Oh my good man! And every morning, I got into the spirit of playing that song, "Paddler Bells." Running hot, running cold. I've been running into overload. It was extreme. Hmm.
What were you eating? What were you eating, Marcia? What how
Everything.
what were you eating in terms of your diet changes?
When I started changing my diet,
Yeah.
before, all right, before before I got into your program, I ate everything. Nothing is off my table. I'm not a person who like I don't eat that. No, I you bring it, I'm gonna eat it.
So
That's
once you got
been
into the
me.
program, what were you eating?
So once I got into the program, I was eating my protein, higher protein, lower carbs. I was eating the vegetables. I was making my salmon, and putting my. I used to eat chicken. I kind of try to put that away, you know, but more vegetables, more fruits, just my protein, you know. I love fish. I love salmon. Just those little things, and I do eat less.
What kind of vegetables were you eating with your protein?
I love to eat lettuce.
Hmm.
I love lettuce, asparagus. I don't eat too many different stuff, so
You
my
keep
my
it
diet is
simple.
very
Okay.
simple and very daily. I don't mind eating the same thing every day. i'm
Hmm.
not i'm not I'm not adverse to that. I can eat the
Yeah, there are
same
people
thing.
there are people who say, I have to even eat a variety of food. I gotta eat this, and I'm like,
No, I don't
all
have to.
right.
I just follow you. I see what you cook. I go cook it. I see what you put in your pot, I go do it. And that's my journey. So, to tell you what I eat on a day to day basis, I really can't say exactly, but I see what sometimes I want something to make. I just come to your channel, pick a meal, and I go eat it.
Glad that's helpful to you.
Yeah, I just go because when my brain is overloaded and I'm like, what can I eat today? I was like, oh, let's go to the nutrition lawyer, and I find something, and
Have
I
you
eat
been
that.
doing the fasting, the monthly fasting, and how has that affected your body?
The monthly fasting has been phenomenal. You know, I didn't get to do it a couple of times because I was traveling. I had a lot on my plate, a lot going. But then I tuned in last month and I did that, and I feel I feel myself feeling great again. You know,
Excellent.
it's always once you start doing it. I mean, once I learned some things, and one of the things I've learned is that you have to take care of you. Nobody else will do that. I mean, your job won't do it. Your friends won't do it. It's all about you. You have to take care of yourself because if you don't, you're gonna, every time, what fascinating and troubling at the same time. I don't go on Facebook very much anymore. I kind of forgot how to use the platform. Um, because I don't have the time to, put on it. But each time I go on Facebook, someone dies. A friend of mine, a colleague, young people like myself. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, we gotta change this. We have to. And I imploring all of my friends, especially those who have family members dying left, right, and center from cancer, from this, from that. Let us. We have to. We have to come together and fight this and beat this. Beat this demon because it's out to destroy us. And until we as a people recognize these things and start changing the way we eat, changing what we're eating, what we're putting in our bodies, then we're going to be, you know, we're going to lose. It's going to win. So it's our journey to take charge. And I learned that, coming to this channel, I love it that you're not just share food, I'm just telling you how to you share some inspiration, you know you share inspiration. And inspiration, you see, you have to inspire people to move. You can't just show them a plate of food because it's not going to work. I tell you, that
Mhm.
wouldn't work for me. You said something that triggered my nerve. You can't just keep stuffing yourself with food every day. And that worked for me. So sometimes, even as harsh as it sounds, it works for somebody. It works for
Yeah.
somebody. Maybe someone else didn't like what that was said, but that to me is that's the love of my life, you know. And when I heard that said, it really resonated with me, and because I know I was doing that. I know I was doing that. But I really wanted to come on here and share my journey because when I started this channel, I was like 205 pounds. You see, no one saw me when I was more than that. I was beyond that, but I never took a picture. And I went to an event in
And
Florida.
how tall are you?
I'm like 5'2",
Okay,
according
so
to
five
them.
two and 205 pounds. Yeah.
That's a lot, you
Yeah,
know?
that's
That's a
definitely
lot of
obesity.
weight.
Yeah.
But the funny thing
Mhm.
is that I carry it well, as some people would say. How you carry your weight is a proportion out, So it's like it's there, but it's not there. But it's a peekaboo situation because the first time I realized how massive I was, It was when I came to Boston. I went to Florida for like 4 months. I was on a, you know, a work schedule. And when I came back, my daughter looked at me and she just looked at me like I was a whole new person. And she was looking at me and she said, and I'm like, what? And she's like, Mom, what have you been eating? I'm like,
Mm,
food. I've been eating. Why? I couldn't see myself. So the person that she saw when I left is not the person she saw coming back. And she said, Mom, you no, you look terrible. And you think that would have done for me, right? But not really. I had to keep going. So the mind wasn't triggered, into getting it done. But one of the things that I really want to share is that everyone, we have friends, right? But one of the things I have learned is that everyone who, just like the Lord says, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, shall be saved. Not everyone who says friend really is a friend. Point in Case in point, I went to my reunion because as big as I was, I never stopped going because I still know who I am. You know what I'm saying? And we all get fat and skinny and fat and skinny, and it's a journey. We just need to know how to stay skinny or how to stay healthy. I'm not going to use the word skinny because skinny doesn't always necessarily mean healthy, right? Go to my reunion, and of course, I was fat. But my friends, they didn't feel like they were strong enough, women enough, men enough to say, "Hey, Marcia, what's going on?" And I like to wear my shades, so I can see things that you don't even know I'm seeing, and I see them talking behind my back, and I'm like, "What the hell?" I wasn't surprised, I wasn't surprised, but they saw me at my highest level of what could be something. And none of them, except one person, a friend of mine, and this girl is not even my classmate. She's like 2 grades lower than me. I saw her first time in school. There was this boy who was trying to talk to her, and she just gave him that look. And when she gave him that look, he just walked away. And I said, "Oh, that girl reminds me of myself." So now I got to meet her now at the reunion. We never met, we never really met. And she saw me and she came up to me while everybody else was talking behind my back. That girl just came in, saw me. I saw she did a double take, like, and then she came up straight to me and she said, "Marcia." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, girl?" And she's like, "Oh no, what's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm good." She said, "Yeah, Marcia, you're good. You're always good. You're always good, but I want to know what's going on. Talk to me." I said, "I'm all right." And she said, "But let me say something. Do I have the permission?" She said, "I respect you and love you so much. I would like for you to give me the permission to ask you the question." And I said, "Feel free. Yeah, you can ask me anything." And she said, "You don't look like the Marcia I know. So something is wrong. Something is not right. And I would like you, if you want to talk about it, I am here. I am here." And wow, when she told that to me, I felt such a difference in my spirit because everyone else was giving me the shade, and she just came to me and, "Woman, I respect you so much. I want you to give me permission to ask you if everything is okay." And that's a friend. A friend is someone who cares about your well being. A friend is not someone you meet in a classroom and you run around with. Someone who cares about what's going on with you. And I love that because Now I learned that her not only is her name Marcia, she's born October 26th like me. And guess what? Them call her Cherry. So I'm Pinky, she's Cherry. So I'm like, all those things. But I've said all that to say this. Sometimes you have some friends, they're not trying to help you with your journey. They're not trying to save you from yourself. They're trying to, just let you be and just talk behind your back. And I'm
Yeah,
glad that
that's
when it
someone
comes,
who definitely cares about you, someone who really cares about you. Absolutely. There are folks who are doing things maybe to enhance their health and they're not even sharing it with you, right?
that's what I was
But
about to
it is,
say. And I
yeah,
am
it's important to
grateful
share
that
with
you do
others.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do that. You do that. Because that's not selfish. That's someone, and that's why I applaud you. I'm grateful. And it's, I don't want to just be the only person who comes to this channel to feed, to learn, to understand what we need. You share this information because it's selfless and you care about other people's well-being. And that's why we're here today. And that's why I can say just watching you have helped me to a great degree. And I am grateful. Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm happy to help. It worked for me, so I figure that I will share it with others, and it'll work for them. As I was saying earlier, in the broadcast, Black women's health is at an epidemic level. Black women in the United States, Black women in Africa, Black women in the Caribbean. It's 4 out of 5 of us are obese, and with obesity comes a lot of diseases that kill us early.
Mm.
And so it's very important for us to take charge of our health. And a lot of us have food addiction. So whether or not it's sugar or it's this or that, carbs and whatever, it's we're addicted. And it's difficult, which is why I implement fasting, because fasting really helps you to get control of what you're putting into your body, which is generally, if you're fasting, you're not putting anything except water or tea. And so it gives you that self-discipline, right? That's what it is. For the most part, it's a detox, but it's also a self-discipline. And of course, when you're fasting, which I believe is what was happening with your illness, Marcia, is that when you're fasting, you're rebuilding blood cells. So
Yeah.
literally in 72 hours, you've actually replenished a lot of your cells. The disease cells fall off and you're gaining new cells. So because your body is regenerating, your body was able to reset and go back to what it was supposed to be,
Yeah. I was like,
right? So yeah, yeah. So that's what fasting does, and that's why fasting is so important. And we've been
yeah.
fasting as human beings for millennia. Every religion has fasting in it for a reason. Okay, so people say I can't fast, and you're it's starvation, and oh my gosh, they're trying to kill us, and I'm like, what are you talking about? With our humanity has been
No,
fasting,
eating
period.
is gonna kill us. that's what
Yeah.
that's what's gonna kill
Exactly,
us. The
exactly.
eating.
You
Man, have you
addiction,
noticed
the
that
food
we don't
addiction
even
will
know
kill
what we're
you.
eating these days? It's just like
Absolutely,
fascinating.
absolutely. We do not know what we're putting in our bodies.
Mm-mm.
And so it's so important to take charge
Yes,
of your health.
that's true.
Take charge of your health. And it's
And
absolutely
day
true
by
because,
day. Yep, day
yeah,
by day.
yeah, it's absolutely true. Christine just said this. Christine said, I can't stop saying you ate your way to unwellness. And it's true. We're eating sick. Okay. We're eating sick. We're making ourselves sick by what we're consuming.
Yeah.
And there are people, actually, I want your input on this, Marcia. And I thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I want your input on this statement because people have said to me, well, it's our culture. So and it's not, Jamaicans have said this to me, Nigerians have said this to me, Ghanaians have said this to me, Bayesians have said this to me, right? African Americans have said this very statement. Oh, but it's our culture. So how am I going to give up this and can't eat that because it's my culture? And I'm saying to you, is it really your culture? Who told you
No.
that it was your culture to eat yourself to sickness?
Well, if I was following my culture, ah,
Your
if
real
I had,
culture, not the one that
oh,
they
if
told you
I,
was your culture. Yeah,
okay,
not the
so
one that they
I
told
don't
you
know
was your
everybody.
culture. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what everybody think their culture is or what that means to,
I
in
can
terms of
I can give
what
you some specific foods that they
what to
list.
eat. But I tell you this, when I think about where I am today and where I was when I was growing up, I can tell you that what I eat today is night and day. Because if I was actually following my culture, I wouldn't be in this place.
Right.
Because
Your
what I
real
used to,
culture, your real
yeah,
culture.
my
The
real
real
culture,
culture. Yeah.
my real
Yeah.
culture. You see, my culture has been contaminated. Yes, very much so. Because what my culture eats today is what I never ate. I used to eat cabbage and callaloo and
The
okra.
best. The best.
Yeah, and string bean and them things there. And them things that we got
Yes.
pick on them. When I used to drink tea, I used to drink cinnamon leaf tea. And all them things that I can't even remember
Oh
some of
gosh.
them.
And cinnamon leaf is fantastic for your health. Fantastic for your health. And weight loss. Fantastic.
Well, so if I was
And getting
following
the fresh leaf. Oh,
if my
it's the best.
culture, if my culture is any example, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because listen, I never used to eat big meat. I always used to eat like you talk about the poor man's drug.
Yes, the poor man's the poor man's drug. The poor people's drug is
Poor people
veggies.
drug.
Yes, it's cabbage.
I mean, come on.
And yeah, if you look, I mean, if you look at through our society, you'll see that folks looked a certain way. We're all looked fit and healthy, and then there was a divergence when there's currency was involved, and folks with money then started buying all this meat, and then they're the ones who got obese, right? Poor people couldn't afford
Yeah.
the meat, so they were eating veggies and
Yeah.
staying fit,
When
right?
they say you're poor, you're too
Yeah, so
poor.
it's
You yam cabbage on Sunday morning. Oh, it's Sunday night if you did not. Oh, how can you eat
exactly.
cabbage? And
I
then
mean,
we
and
first.
even today, you look at, people will say to you, oh, you don't look, she doesn't look well, she's too thin, she doesn't look like she's eating well, you don't have any money. Meanwhile, the weight is what's making you unwell.
I wish one of the things that I aspire to do is eat as I was a child growing up. That would just help me so much. But with all that we have in front of us every day, it becomes a challenge, and it is challenging because now you're addicted to all these stuff, you know,
Yes.
and it's not easy to
It
get.
is, it's no, it's hard because I'm going to address this one question that Christine just asked, because it's definitely in line with what we're talking about, Marcia. And that's, Christine said, do you think it's passed down from slavery eating, why we can do better, when we can do better, we continue to eat this way? And I think that's part of it. I do think that certain types of foods, it is passed down from that time. Like
Yeah,
we could only get the scraps, right? The,
true.
the the scraps of the animal, if we're lucky,
Christine,
right?
you're right.
Yeah,
You're so
absolutely.
right.
And this is why, in my view, and maybe certain things I say is perhaps radical to people, but in my view, we're clearly still mentally enslaved because we're still eating garbage. And not
Yes.
only that, and because that's what we were fed. We're fed the leftover garbage, right? And we continue to eat it because we say it's our traditions, right? I'm gonna have ham hocks because it's my tradition, but it's a tradition that was really from slavery, as Christina's saying. It's absolutely from slavery. And if you look at the types of things that they put in certain neighborhoods, the type of restaurants or lack thereof, because they shouldn't be called restaurants, that they put in certain neighborhoods, right?
Mhm.
That we have ready access to, that is literally poisoning us. It's killing us.
Very much so.
And so, yeah, it's killing us. And we're dying early for no reason, which is
So
a
many people are
travesty.
dying. I mean, like,
It's
wow, crazy.
early for for no good reason other than you're eating sick. You've been
Yeah,
eating sick.
making yourself
And
sick.
so, yes, and if you tell people sometimes, you need to stop eating this or that because they're addicted, you're dealing with an addict if you think about it, right? It's not just
Yeah,
about drug addiction. Food addiction is probably the biggest addiction in humanity right now, is food addiction, because most people are addicted to some kind of food, right? So if you say to people, don't eat that, or I don't think you should eat this and that, they will go crazy. You can't tell me that. The type of like reaction that they have, you can see it's like a reaction of an addict. And I can tell you that until we realize what is being done, because they're controlling us still
yeah.
with the mental slavery and the food addiction, we're still being controlled. So
Well, they,
unless you
mhm.
get in control of your own palate, you control your mouth, you control what you put in it, they still control us at the end of the day. And even for me, it was hard to wean myself. I'm gonna say wean myself off of certain things. Wean, because you're used to
True.
eating it. You've been eating it your entire life, and you're also your brain is very much in tune with, this is what we're supposed to eat, and this is what I'm gonna eat. And when my parents ate it and my grandparents ate it and da 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 da. So, and you have to reprogram, and so certain things that I do with the challenges or the fasting is to reprogram your brain to take control of your own life.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, you have to be able to control what you consume, because your body is the only thing that you have. It's the only vehicle that's keeping you alive. And you have to be good to it and kind to it and help it get the best fuel, right? To give you
yeah.
energy.
So it's like when it comes to a car, right? And some cars have it's a diesel car. You can't put
Hmm.
regular stuff in that, so it's gonna just destroy it. Um,
Yeah,
but I like the fact that you say addiction, food addiction. You see, I think when we start addressing the situation as supposed to, it is an addiction, but we're not handling it as such. Yeah, we talk about drug addiction and all that, and everybody's all into, you know, drug rehab. And come on, let's go to food rehab. It's about time.
agreed.
It's about time.
Agreed.
So I feel like I just heard you say food addiction. And immediately I'm like, damn, they got drug addiction rehabilitation. It's about time we find our food addiction rehab. Because, hey, that will kill us faster than the drugs kill them drug addictions.
but but it's been killing so many of us much more than any drug,
Oh, yeah.
quote unquote drug. It
Oh,
has
yeah.
been, it has been. If you're
Oh, yeah.
looking at how many folks and young people who have died from various illnesses that's related to what they're consuming, it's astronomical. It's an
Sure
epidemic.
is. Sure
It's an
is.
epidemic. And for us black women, it's a major epidemic. If you look at this, go to the statistics at the Center for Disease Control and the National Institute of Health. I can bring it up and show you right now. It's really, really alarming. 4 out of 5 of us, 4 out of 5. That's craziness.
Man,
So, and a lot of us don't know
crazy.
how to make a change, right? We we know something is wrong and we know we want to help ourselves, but we don't know how to. And so, hopefully, please share this information with others so that they can get on the program and get their health in order. Because I love
Yep.
us and I want all of us to thrive and live healthy lives.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons man, I'm glad that, so, like I said, we're here because we have a challenge. We have a life to live and live it well. And that's our responsibility to our life. I mean, while I was doing the challenge of like the first month, I was starting the
Hmm.
first fasting challenge. The Spirit spoke so clearly to me and said, have you ever apologized to yourself, to your body, for all the things you've done to it?
Mm.
I'm like, no. But until we see our bodies as something, a person that we need to respect and love and support and apologize to it when we do it wrong, as I've done over the years, giving all of my doing all the wrong to myself, you know, I feel like it's time that we start learning that we have to think of ourselves and think of, ap- apologizing to ourselves and promising ourselves that, hey, I'll do better. It's going to help. Because from that moment on, I start doing that. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do better. Yeah, I'm sorry. Apologize for that. Yeah, I did eat that candy yesterday morning. And you know what? I apologize. I didn't mean to. I know it hurts you. I don't want to hurt you anymore. So until we start learning and understanding that we have an obligation to this body, because this body can't sustain us if we're not sustaining it. So it's just like, man, learning a few things here, you know.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. I don't think most of us um, have that understanding or even can even see that your body literally is all you have for
Mm.
life,
Yeah,
and your body is working with you to maintain your existence, right?
that's true. Yep.
So if you do all this self abuse and you're not helping your body to keep you alive, then that's your demise, right?
Oh my
And it doesn't
goodness.
have to be. It doesn't
Self
have to be,
abuse. So true.
right? It is. It
It
is self
is.
abuse.
Mm.
But you don't even realize it. You look outside and you can see other people maybe doing things that are abusive to you, but you're not thinking about what you're doing to yourself, right? Whatever you're putting in your body, and even your self talk, what you're saying to yourself
Hmm.
is important,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So you folks talk about this body positivity movement, and I'm all for body positivity, and but in that movement should definitely be healthful, right? Am
Yeah.
I healthy? Am I doing the best for my body and my longevity, etc.? So I can be around for my purpose,
Or
right? To continue to fulfill my
yeah.
purpose and to help others, including my family members, right?
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot of things to unpack in that realm. Um, and I hope that we do. And I think getting conversation started is very important. But until you control your body, they control you. That's how it is.
It surely does. It surely
And I don't want
does.
anybody to control me.
You know, I have always felt like no one can control me. But then I realized something controls me. And That to me, no, that's something I have to take care of. I'm
Well,
not willing to.
you're taking it back, so that's
Oh
great. You're
yeah,
taking it back.
I gotta rein that in, honey child. No, because you can't, but it's the awakening. Because, like I said, I couldn't see myself. I couldn't.
Right.
I just could not. There was a veil there. I couldn't see it. It just wasn't happening. But
I didn't see myself either. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see my. I mean, I got overweight and I didn't see myself. I was like, oh, I'm still pretty. I look good. But it never hit me until I tried to try on my suits again to go to court, and I was like, what? You know, did the suits shrink or?
Girl,
It's just you're not paying attention. That's you're not paying. I can see how people get to be obese. You're not paying attention.
I'm paying
You're
attention.
getting a little bit bigger, and that's okay, and it's fine. And culturally, we're like, oh yeah, I got some meat on my bones. I look good. And then the next thing you know, you're like way past that, and you're not paying attention. So I can see how that happens because it happened to
Yeah,
me. It happened to
it
me
just
when I
happened.
when I when I was gonna buy a size 8 is when I was like, you know what? I'm not buying a size 8. I'm not going to buy anything bigger because I bought a 4. I was a 2. I bought a 4, and then I bought a 6, and then I was going to an 8. And I said, you know what? That's where I cut it off. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on suits again at a size 8. I am going instead of wearing shapewear, I'm going to get in shape. And so that's
Hmm.
when I just it was a rebellion. I was like, I'm not gonna wear this shapewear, and I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go get in shape, and I'm gonna change my nutrition. And then once I changed my nutrition, I went right back to a 2. So
Girl, I get
but you
it.
have to
I will.
you have to make up your mind that you're gonna do it.
It is a
And
conscious decision.
it was just my nutrition. I wasn't in any gym doing anything in the gym. Okay. And I'm not saying don't exercise, by the way. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
right.
need to know that 80% of our 80% of our health, 80% of our body structure is from nutrition. It's not from exercise. 10 to 20% is exercise. And it's very important for you to move. But when you're very big, it's hard for you to move. The easiest thing for you to do is actually to change your nutrition. You change your nutrition, you get back right down to the weight that you need to, then you can do, the activities. So, no, I went through it, Christine. I went through it. Trust me. I went through it. I went through it. As Christine is saying, this is a soft rebuke. It's a gentle rebuke, but it's the conversation. I'm having the conversations with you all that I had to have with myself. I had to have these same conversations with myself, so I know where we're all coming from, and
Yeah.
it's discipline. Discipline is so important. Like if you don't have anything else, if you can just get that discipline going, it'll change your life. Discipline will change your life. So
And
people will
and
say to
that
me,
is
yeah,
what I'm working with.
I had never fasted before, Marcia. I hadn't fasted before. Someone at work said to me, "Oh, I did a 2 week fast, 2 week water fast, and I lost I think she said she lost like 20 pounds, and she felt amazing, and her mental health and all this stuff." And I was like, "Wow, a fast, 2 weeks, wow." And my reaction was, "Hey, let's do a 7-day fast, and let's do 1 week and see." And so we had a team that jumped in and said, okay, we're all going to do a fast for a week, right? Water and tea, water and tea. And so I just made up my mind I'm going to do it. I'd never fasted before, but my first fast was 7 days. Now, at the end of the fast, I was the only one that was fasting because everybody else dropped out.
Wow.
There were people
Yeah.
that dropped out the very next day. It was like 10 lawyers and everybody dropped out. Okay. But I finished
Yeah.
because once I made the commitment to myself, I'm going to do it no matter what. No matter if I'm crawling on the ground, I'm going to finish. That's just how I am. So since I made the commitment, I finished and I lost like 10 pounds. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then the feeling that you get from the fast, the mental amazement, like almost like bliss. I'm like, wow, I want this feeling. So I'm like, you know what? Monthly, I'm going to do a fast. And so that's how the month of fast came up. But
Wow,
I love to
that's
challenge.
amazing.
Like when you challenge yourself, like challenge yourself and commit to the goal. You're not going to die. You're not going to starve. Okay. It's not
Understand.
starvation. But the
It's
benefits are
funny.
amazing in terms of your
You know, I I think my real problem was I was too greedy. I just like to eat. Um, I always said, I don't want to go on a diet. I love food too much. But you can
I
love
love
food.
food too.
Yeah,
I love food and I
exactly.
eat well.
But
I eat
you
extremely
can love
well. That's
food,
the
but
thing. I eat
what are
well.
you eating? What are you
I
eating?
enjoy my meals.
That's right.
I'm eating salmon and cream sauce
I
with
know.
roasted red peppers. I'm eating a wonderful baked spaghetti squash, right? Like I'm eating well. Every food I eat, I enjoy my meal. I don't eat anything where I'm like, oh, I don't like this. It doesn't taste. No, I'm every food I'm smiling because the food is delicious and I'm happy. And I'm still maintaining my weight loss. And I'm still maintaining good nutritional health. So you can eat well. You don't have to go on these diets that are, it's just ridiculous. Some of these things that people are eating, you don't have to do that to have good health and good nutritional health and actually to lose weight. You can just come to nutrition lawyer. Simple.
I'll tell you, like I said, you know, um, one of the challenges you brought forth that I so enjoyed doing was the protein challenge. Just eat those fish, that I just delve into that so hard because it was everything that I love. I love the mayonnaise. I just grab my tuna. I just mix them up. So good.
Hmm.
And I just made all my lunch were like just eggs. For the longest time now, I just eat certain things. It's just, and then I feel so full. I'm not hungry. When I get home, I don't go to find food. It's different. But like I said, it's a challenge. It's a process, and
It
I'm
is a
steadily
process.
doing the process, and I feel so much better these days. I'm wearing clothes that I never wore in 3 years or 5 years. Really, I have clothes right now that I wear that I'm like, oh my god, I haven't put this shit on in like too
That's
long.
always, it's always a plus. Yeah. For something that
You
hasn't fit
know
you in
what?
years and you're like, oh, this fit. This is so nice.
And I never thought in a million years that I would be able to wear those dresses again. And for example, the one I'm wearing, I've had this dress for 5 years and I have never put it on.
Wow.
But today I know it would fit me.
You look
It was
great.
that small. It,
The little that we can see. The
it
little that
was
we can
yeah,
see.
it was that
You
small,
know.
okay? I was wearing size 20, 22. I would go
Mm,
up and say because 20 fit me comfortably. Size 22 was okay. Then I wasn't showing off too much. 22 was good. 20, I felt like I was trying to do something that wasn't really working.
mm.
But today I fit comfortably in a 12 and 14 dress.
Fantastic.
You
Fantastic.
know, and Yeah, because this dress is a 12, and it does have its own little stretch, but I could not wear it. And I decide I'm
So,
going to wear this because I could not wear this. So I'm not just talking, it's just happening. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you the truth, if I was more disciplined, I would have been wearing that little dress you've been having on. Now I tell you, I'm coming for it.
yeah,
you know, but it's like I said, for some folks, I'm just want to speak to those people out there who are having these health issues. Even if you are not having it and someone in your family is having it, don't just
absolutely.
sit by and watch them die. It's going to happen if they don't change. If something has to change. And I feel like instead of getting more injections and more drugs in your system,
Mm-mm.
try changing your diet first.
Number one. Number
Number
one.
one.
Number one.
And if you don't know what to eat, go to the nutrition lawyer page and find some nice, good, sustainable meals that will help you to wellness. Because, like I said, every time I go on Facebook, somebody dies. It's some family, and these are young people, and it breaks
And we're
my
dying
heart.
too young. We're dying too young.
Breaks my heart, and it's just all these diseases and illnesses. No one just falls off a ladder anymore. Yeah,
Right.
nobody not jump
Absolutely.
off a
And
ladder.
people are suffering, by the time they've died, they were suffering way before. We just don't know,
Exactly.
right? So
Yes,
when you're
exactly.
looking at, for example, type 2 diabetes that so many of us have, so many black people have type 2 diabetes, right?
Hmm.
And we're getting amputated. Like, people are losing their legs, their feet, their toes, and you're like, what? They have so many of these diabetic clinics now and dialysis clinics in black neighborhoods because it's an epidemic.
Yes,
And
it is.
literally, it's reversible with your nutrition.
Oh
It's
yeah.
preventable with your nutrition. Like, if you're pre-diabetic and you actually start eating the way I teach to eat, you can reverse pre-diabetes. I've had several folks who are following my channel and who are implementing my program who have reversed type 2 diabetes, reversed high blood pressure. Okay. So you can do that. You can do that. You don't have to suffer in silence. And the other thing too is that when you go to your doctor, and let me do my disclaimer here. I am not a medical doctor. I am not giving you medical advice. I am telling you what works for me and what's worked for other people who have implemented my program. Okay. So always go and have a conversation with your doctor. But most doctors are not nutritionists. They don't study nutrition and they don't know anything about nutrition. The majority of doctors, this is the case. This is not me saying this. I just came out of a certificate program for 4 months from Stanford University. Most of the people in my class were doctors, and they were there because they said, we don't know, we didn't learn anything about nutrition in medical school. And so we're here now to try to help our patients instead of just pumping them with drugs because that's what they teach us in medical school. This is
And
what
isn't
they're
that
saying.
and isn't that troubling?
So it is very troubling. But if you look at how the schools are funded, medical schools, who funds the schools? If you look at who funds the studies that they do, I mean, it's certain types of companies,
Okay.
right?
So you just go to
So
see
so
who doing the study.
exactly. So we don't know. We didn't know, and even the doctors, they go in to help people, right? But then they're taught a certain way in medical school.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that's how it is with Western medicine. They don't know, right? So I
Yeah.
think there's certain things that actually many diseases, I think probably like 80-90% of diseases are preventable, right? So, and you but it's nutrition. It's nutrition. You have to go with
Preventable
your nutrition.
and reversible.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So you have to look at what your, and then this genetics thing. Don't get me started, because genetics is probably like maybe 1 to 5%. So people say, well, my mom had high blood pressure, my grandma had high blood pressure, therefore I'm gonna get it. No, that's
No.
literally 5%. But the 95% is what else you're doing with yourself. So no, you'll never have to get high blood pressure if you actually have good nutrition.
Yeah.
Period. So I think that we have to just have a conversation with ourselves. Like,
Oh yeah.
is this the best thing for me? Am I doing the best thing for my health, my body, my mind, my soul? And if you're not doing the best, and you know it's not your best you, then take certain steps. It could be baby steps, but it starts
Yeah.
with your nutrition. That is 80% of your longevity right there. Starts with your
That's right.
nutrition, and make those changes. Make those changes. Just commit to it and make those changes. Um, I'm so sorry to hear that. Christine said that most of her mother's children are gone with cancer, etc. And yeah, cancer definitely in many cases is preventable. Yeah, and it's just they're literally like in our gut. We have several trillion bacteria in our gut, right? That's growing, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they're bigger. They're more than us, right? You're one
Uh,
person.
oh yeah.
And there's good bacteria and bad bacteria, and good bacteria love good things that we put in our bodies, and the bad bacteria love all the garbage. So you have to sometimes you have this craving, and you're like, oh, I'm craving this. Tell yourself, sometimes I do this to myself, I was like, am I craving that, or is the bacteria craving that? Because the bacteria
Bacteria.
that's craving the bad stuff wants to keep growing, and they grow on that, they feed on that,
And they feed on it, right?
and they
That's their
multiply on
food.
that and causes you disease.
You know what? You know what, Nikiki? I'm so glad we're having this conversation and you get to that part because my dad, that man, when he used to drink his coffee, but it was the sweetest thing on the planet. He would dose that thing with sugar, like
Yes, that's definitely cultural.
on unbelievable amount of sugar. It has to be
It's
that sweet
cultural.
like honey. And I remember when that diagnosis came, when I heard about that, and the first thing came to my thoughts, I'm like, oh my God, the sugar. Because he was feeding that what that
Correct.
oh my gosh. They were
Cancer,
having
cancer,
that was
cancer
having a
multi
ball in him.
cancer multiplies with sugar. It
Oh
just
my
grows and
gosh.
grows with sugar.
The more I
In fact,
learn, the more I study, I'm like, oh my gosh, my dad was killing himself with all that because
yes,
the cancer was having a ball.
yes.
I mean, it
It'll
just
grow and
multiplied
multiply and spread with that
rapidly.
sugar.
It
Because
killed him.
the when
It
you
was
go to
horrible.
get a cancer test, they actually give you a sugar test to see, and they under the microscope they're looking to see how, if it's growing, it's because it's getting the sugar. That's how they test it. So you know that
Wow.
the first thing that they should tell you when you get to that point is they should tell you right away, cut sugar out.
Cut
They
it
don't.
out. It
They don't
should
tell you
go.
that. They don't tell you that, but you literally need to cut sugar out.
I don't drink that. I
It's
don't
it's
sugar in
growing
it.
the cancer
Sugar not
cell.
anymore.
Yeah.
Nah,
But we
I
don't
wasn't
even
even a
know.
sugar girl
I
to
mean,
begin with.
oh, Marcia, I
Terrible.
mean, for me, I always said I don't have a sweet tooth. I like salty and savory and sour. But I will tell you, I used to drink my tea with tons of sugar. I remember taking these flights, and I would ask the flight attendant, like, she would give me like 2 packs of sugar. I'm like, can I get 7 more, please? And she's like, because those little, those teeny tiny cups, those teeny
Yeah.
tiny cups, 8 packs of sugar.
Ooh,
So if
yeah.
I with that crazy, I had no idea what I was doing to my body. No clue. Nobody told me. I didn't know. Right? I didn't know. But once I decided to cut sugar out,
Mm-hmm.
that was that, you know. But I remember my
Yeah.
dad kept telling me I was drinking too much sugar in the tea. He did say that to me, like, you're putting too much sugar. You're putting too
Yeah.
much sugar,
Yeah.
but there was no like explanation, you know. I wish he had said to me, you know what, that grows cancer cells. That
Hmm.
would have been like, oh crap, right?
I
Like
figured
just
that one
saying
out.
certain things, but he knew that, he had that knowledge, but he didn't say it.
Yeah.
He just said it's bad for you, and he would buy sodas for us. So we never got addicted to sodas because we never had it in the house. It was never bought. I refused to buy it. But and so I grew up knowing that soda was bad. But again, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know it's because it's so full of sugar. It's literally, you're poisoning yourself. You're poisoning your body. And we don't want to grow cancer cells. So let's cut it
No,
out.
we don't.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I know I'm not where I would love to be, but I sure as hell is not where I used to be.
No. And you're getting there. You're
and
getting
I
there.
am and I am working on, making those very simple changes, because they are simple changes. They're not as
Hmm.
astronomical as we act like they are. We're just acting like that because we're addicted.
It's
You know,
because we're addicted.
yeah, it makes me,
Yeah.
and it makes me think really hard about really people addicted to other stuff. It makes me understand
Yes.
my addiction to
You have more
food.
compassion. You have more
Oh my
compassion because
god.
our food is, yeah, we never thought of ourselves as addicts, but we're addicted
Oh
to
my
food.
god.
And certain types of
Makes
food we're
me
addicted to. So yeah,
yeah, it makes
I
me
do have
have
more compassion for addicts.
such a different approach to them, feel for them.
Yes,
I know how hard it is to
it
get out of
is.
something that you put yourself in. You did
Yes.
it
And you
to
fall
yourself.
off, you know it's wrong, and then you have to get back on and you try to crawl back on. I mean, it's difficult.
Difficult.
And we have to have compassion.
Yeah, you have to have
We have to have
compassion, and
compassion.
food addiction is
Yeah.
no different than the guy who's on the street shooting up. It's no
It's the
different.
same. It's the
It's the
same.
same. It's
There are
the same.
folks who are they're not even just addicted to food, they're addicted to fast food. Like there's a woman who said she can't pass a McDonald's on the highway and not stop. Like as soon as she sees it, she has to stop. And my heart goes out. My heart goes
Yeah,
out because
so addicted.
and then there are those of us who say, well, I don't eat fast food, right? I don't stop at McDonald's or BK or any of these places, but then their cupboards are full of Oreos and these crackers. That's all fast food, filled with, trans fats that are making us sick. So let's let's get real.
I think what my biggest problem is, because what I do believe took me to where I was my excessive love for carbs.
Of what?
Carbs,
Oh yes.
rice, and I could not feel satisfied without my rice this
Yes.
big and my this, you name it, carbs. I'm gonna have it, you know.
Most of us have a carb addiction. We've been fed that since we were
That was
little.
my addiction, but I
Yeah.
gradually step away from it. I like, no,
But
thank you.
but
You know,
you know, um, when the carbs, which we never knew, but when the carbs hit your stomach, it turns into sugar. Did you
I
know that?
learned that. I
Yeah.
learned that, and I'm like,
So
damn,
yeah.
I don't want
So
it.
so it's literally sugar. Christine said she's addicted to bread and butter. Christine, Christine, the butter is okay. Ditch the bread.
Do you
Um,
want me to tell you what I'm addicted to these days, Christine? Let me tell you what's my addiction nowadays. Y'all don't laugh. I love smoked um tuna with mayonnaise. Oh my goodness. I love it.
plus
And
plus
when
you can
and
make
when I
some you
eat
can
it,
make some You can make some keto bread. You can make some keto bread. I have videos on how to make some bread, and
You
I'm
know
I'm
what?
gonna do some more, some big
Yeah,
loaves.
give me some more stuff because
I
I
will. I
haven't
will.
challenged it because like I said, my go-to page, I feel like that's my nutritional channel is my what you call it now, my rehab center. That's where I
Okay.
go
I
to
like that. I
call.
like that.
Yeah, that's my rehab center because that's
You
where I
know,
go to
you're
take
giving me
care of
some
my addiction.
ideas. You're
Yeah.
giving me some ideas about having a rehab center for food addiction. No,
Oh,
you're
we
giving me some
need that.
ideas
I
here.
mean,
You're giving me
I
some
just
ideas.
realized that I just realized when you called food an addiction, the foods we get sick of, the food we cannot stop eating because it's our culture. No, it's an addiction. And I love it
It's
that
an
you
addiction.
nailed it an addiction. And the moment you nailed it an addiction, I said, okay, so I am in rehab.
You are
I'm
in
in rehab.
rehab. This is so true.
And I love it that I can see it as rehabilitation because that's
Yes.
exactly what it is. Because I didn't realize before that I was an addict. I was addicted to food. I didn't realize that until now. I know I
Mm-hmm.
love to eat. I always say, "Oh, I love to eat. I love my food too much to go on a fast." No, but I'm
Right.
addicted.
Absolutely.
I'm addicted.
I, you
And
know,
now
I,
I
Christine,
learn
Christine, I love
I'm in
bread
rehab.
too, by the way. And that's the thing. Like, I still love all these different things, but they don't love me back.
Good. I tell you that truth. It's so true. They don't love me back.
Yeah, because what it does, it literally doesn't let your body burn the fat. It sticks to your body and turns into fat, and it holds onto the fat. And the fat is causing you all these other health issues. So if it's not loving me back, I'm gonna just let it, just release it, just release it, just let it go, just release it. And there are
Gotta let
replacements.
it go.
We have great breads that you can make that are not that gonna make you sick. So we can replace it, but it's hard because you grow up on that great fresh, especially like freshly baked bread, and it's hot and the butter just melts on you. Like, oh my gosh, I get it. I've been there. And a lot of times for me now, when I see bread, the old me might say, oh, I have some bread and butter, and then I think, oh, but that's garbage for my system. And sometimes I try it. Sometimes I have a piece of bread and it tastes like cardboard, because it just your palate changes. Once you change your diet, your palate
So
changes. And trust me,
true.
Christine,
Let me
that bread do not taste the same. It's gonna taste like a cardboard box when you start eating it. You're like, oh my god, and you can't eat it. So
so I
your
agree with
palate
you.
changes.
Your palate
Yeah,
changes because let me share an experience with you. I used to
yeah.
love my 2% milk. I love it like no tomorrow. I would
Mm-hmm.
drink 2% every day. And then after I started my challenge and I started to learn to eat differently and everything like that, I decided I'm going to have some 2%. And oh my gosh, the thing said it tasted so thick. And I'm like, what is this? I'm looking if it is it 2% or is it straight out what they call it, the D1. Because the D1 is thick,
Yeah,
right? And the way the
yeah.
2% tastes is like I was having D. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's just so different. So your palate does change. It
So
does
yeah,
change. And so many things changes after you start
yeah.
changing how
It
you eat.
does.
I don't want chicken
And
anymore.
also, you're
That's
also
foolishness.
growing the better bacteria, right? When you change your
Yeah.
diet, you're
Yeah.
growing the better bacteria. The better bacteria, it starts winning over the ones that want the bad stuff. So
Mm,
the good bacteria is telling you we don't want that milk anymore, because
yeah.
that's not helping us. So you're literally getting healthier, Marcia, by
Yeah.
feeding the gut the good stuff. Yeah, and it keeps growing and wants the good stuff. So that's what's happening. So that's great.
I am imploring my friends, people that I know are in my shoe. I'm imploring you, take this challenge. Do it. Change your perspective on the food you eat. Because I had to do it. And while I'm doing it, my mind is so on so many of my friends. But I'm not trying to push, and I don't push my stuff on people. I just want to, I love to lead by example. That's how I am. I like to lead by example. So I want my friends to see and hear and know and understand that we do, as human beings, we do have a responsibility for our to our bodies. And we don't have to suffer. We don't have to suffer all these problems that every day we wake up with. The pain and the aches, and we don't have to do that. Man, I used to have my another thing I used to have because of my weight. I was so fat. Yeah, I say fat. Don't tell me I'm just big. I'm a big body. No, I'm fat. I like to say that because it makes me understand that I am fat. And it's not a crime. Being fat is not a criminal activity. You will not go to jail for it. What you will do is go to your grave. That's what it will take you. It will take you to your grave. So I'm not afraid of going to jail for being fat. I'm afraid of going to my grave for being fat. So what I say to myself all the time is that if I love me enough, I have to say no to some things. I have to start losing some of these things that's really not helping me. And I feel myself lighter, stronger, so much better these days, you know? And I'm going to continue this journey. And as long as I got the nutrition lawyer, oh my goodness, I thank you so much for bringing this to light, because I don't know where I would be today without it. So I'll just say that and leave that right there, leave that right there.
I am happy to help others. I'm happy to help others because someone shared certain things with me, um, and I was curious. Yeah, so someone mentioned the diet to me. Another lawyer, male lawyer, actually mentioned it to me, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna try that. Let me go research that." And so, and that's how I started my journey, and then I implemented fasting and etc. From
Yeah.
doing that 1 week fast with that lady, who
Mhm.
didn't even end up doing the fast anyway. She dropped out as well, but. Um,
Well, he tried, because
but I think
my first time trying the
if you can
fast,
start.
I dropped out so quickly. I'm like, oh no, it didn't work. But then I got
Yeah,
it.
a lot of people,
Got it.
a lot of people was our first time and they dropped out. But I want everybody, ask yourself when you're having whatever it is you're going to have. I'm not saying that you should start rejecting all kinds of food and whatever, but a lot of it is not even food if you think about it. It's actually not giving us any nutrition. So we call
No,
it food, and people say you're restricting all this food, but it's not food, because food is supposed to give you
not food.
nutrients, and a lot of the stuff that we're eating is not giving us any nutrients. For example, like the bread is not, there's no nutritional value in the bread, Christine. You're not getting anything from it in terms of nutrition. There's no nutrients in it that's helping you. There's no vitamins. There's no minerals. There's nothing in it that's helping you. So um, ask yourself when you're going to have something, just starting off, like preparing your mind, because you're not on this program yet and whatnot, but preparing your mind. Ask yourself
Right.
if what you're going to have is going to lead you to better health or
Is it
disease.
nutritional? Is it going to help you?
Yeah, is it nutritional? Better health or disease? And if it's not better health, then ditch it. Anything to add,
Well, I
Marcia?
started doing that. I started to do that. I started to analyze, what is this going to do to me? Because I don't want to get back too fat. So I start to do that. I pack my lunch every day nowadays. Let me tell you, not only was buying lunch at work expensive, it was just not helping my health. You know, you spend too much money buying stuff that don't work with you, that don't like you. So I cut that out. I prep my meals, and I find that it helps me tremendously because most of my eating happens at work. That's what happens when I'm at work. I eat, but I forgot all the little candies. I passed them up, and now I'm prepping my own meals, and I'm doing my fasting here and there. So I can't look back. I can't go back. It, it's just not gonna work.
So we'll keep going forward. Sometimes we fall off the wagon, and that's okay. You just know that you've got to come back to center and do what's best for your health, your longevity. As I said before, your health is currency. And people think it's very
Hmm.
cliche to say your health, is wealth, but your health literally is currency. It's money. And so you need to get your health right. And once you get your health right, the weight will fall off. There's no question about that. Once you start eating well, getting enough sleep, you are going to lose the weight. That's no question about it. There's no question about it. Your mental health is so important, and what you eat affects your mental health. Literally, any
Yeah.
sort of brain disease, etc., you can literally change your health and your brain health by changing your diet. And there's a lot of research that's being done now. And I'm going to do some videos on those studies and those research studies on how certain diets are affecting epilepsy, Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
bipolar disorder, all those different illnesses that affect the brain. You can change your brain structure by what you're eating, right? They say sugar alters our brain like heroin does. It literally changes the composition of
Yeah.
your brain. That's what sugar does.
That,
They put they put a sugar addict's brain and the heroin addict brain, and it was the same, right? But
wow.
a lot of us would be like, "Oh no, I would never do
Fascinating.
heroin," but we're we're doing the same thing
We're
with the
doing
sugar.
sugar.
So it's very, yeah. I was, once I saw that, I was like, okay, that's when I cut sugar out. That's literally what caused me to cut out sugar completely. Was that those two brain scans? I was like, oh my gosh. And here I thought I was so much higher than, the other drug addicts, right? Like, like,
Well, not really.
like my friend would say.
You're not really.
I, I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, I'm an addict. It's the same as a heroin addict. God. Lord, help me, please.
Yeah, I
Give
agree.
me some,
Like I said,
give me some deliverance.
I'm working on my neck. Girl, I
It will come. It will
I tell
come
you
for
this
sure. It
my
will
neck
come.
was like down here. Too much. Too much.
Yeah, you're looking great,
Mm,
Marcia. You're looking
thank you,
great.
my love.
You're looking great.
It's
You're
terrible.
you're
And
you're
I,
gonna
you
get
know,
there.
two things
It's a
peeved,
process.
two things peeved me out when I was fatter. My neck. It's too heavy, too much. Yeah? And then right here, it had this bridge. I don't know. It just folded like I could do
Your
it with
body
my
is,
hands,
yeah, because your face is struggling to maintain the weight. That's what's,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and
Your
then
your
it
face
would
was
come
struggling to
like
maintain the
this.
weight. So
it did like this. You see
Yeah.
that? You see that, Chris? It was coming down like that. It
Mm-hmm.
folded. And those are the two things I saw first leaving my face. My triple chin and my
Mm.
this part here. And I said to myself, wow, sometimes people that you might not be able to see that I gone 20 pounds off, but I have. I've dropped it. And I can see that in,
That's
you
fantastic.
know, my structure. And it's all about cause of the nutrition lawyer. I just wasn't doing anything that was making sense, you know? I wasn't eating anything that's making sense. I was spending too much money, especially at work, buying things that didn't make sense, you know? And then when
It's
I
not helping your
realized
health. It wasn't leading
it's
you to
not
health.
helping my body, and then when I realized that the money that I spent buying lunch that not helping my body and doing meal prep, what the nutrition lawyer prescribed, I feel so much better. My pocket is so much better. Everything is different, you know? So I stopped doing that stuff. I don't buy lunch on the street anymore. I don't do it. Mm-mm. I don't do any of that.
One of the best things that you can do is to make your own meals and meal prep so that
Yeah.
because when you don't meal prep, you may grab anything, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
for me, it's
Telling
easy
you.
because I buy what I'm gonna eat, But if you have
Healthy.
other people in your household that don't eat like you and you buy other stuff, then you eyeball it and it's natural to think, okay, I'm just going to have some of this and it'll be fine. But you'll see that sometimes with these things it's addictive, because once you eat one piece of bread, then you want to eat another piece and then two more pieces until you're stuffed, right? But then you're 2 hours later you're hungry because you had no nutrition in those four pieces of bread. So
Yeah.
so it would have been better for you to have some eggs or some aki, right? Some protein, have some tuna, have a piece of fish. That's really going to give you good health and taste good too, because I don't eat anything that doesn't taste good. I season my thing right and it tastes yummy. Always yummy. Always yummy. So I don't believe in sacrificing good food, good tasting food, for some plain thing that doesn't taste right. Right. I'm still Caribbean. I'm still Jamaican. I'm gonna have my nice seasoned food. Okay. You can have all of that and you can still get healthy, and you can still shed those pounds that are inhibiting you. Okay. And help
Exactly.
to prevent those diseases, the ones that you have, reverse some of those things. And you're gonna be so much better and healthier, and you're gonna be happier. You're gonna be happier, period. No question about it. So
Of
our
course.
challenge tomorrow, whoever wants to join, is a protein challenge. And it is protein only with some healthy fats for the next 5 days. If you can only do 2 days, do 2 days. If you can only do three, do three. It's better than
I
not
go
doing
all the
anything
day.
at all. Absolutely. And if you can try in terms of fasting, try to start doing like a 36-hour fast. Try to do a
Wow.
36-hour fast once a week, um, to get your health right. Start off small. You can start off small. You can start off with intermittent fasting. Maybe you have 2 meals in a day or 1 meal in a day, and you can fast for the other 18 hours, right? Where you're drinking tea, or if you drink coffee, or you're drinking water. But cut out the sugar. Like, the best thing you can do for yourself right now, if you're just starting out, cut out sugar. You can replace the sugar with monk fruit sweetener, stevia, and cut out those processed carbohydrates. Cut them out. Just just cut it out. Stop eating it.
I have a
No
question
nutritional
for you.
value. Zero. Sure.
So I use the monk fruit sweetener for the most part, and then sometimes I do the stevia. But sometimes when I try to get my stevia or the monk fruit sweetener, I see this one that shows up called Truvia. What is that?
Truvia, I think, is a brand that makes different types of sweeteners.
and and then it says stevia. Is it? I don't know. I'm like, so I don't really buy it because I'm not
So
sure.
yeah, so my recommendation would be to get either, it says stevia, isn't it? Stevia period or Mumford sweetener period.
Yeah. It in the one that says Truvia, it's stevia with a different name because they say it's a natural plant. But I read it, but I'm like, I
So
just
if
want to
yeah,
make
so
sure.
if it's the natural plant, then that's good. That's fine. Because we
Yeah,
have
I just wanted to
stevia
hear
drops.
from
It's
the
not
nutrition
just
lawyer because you
crystals.
see, I'm in nutrition rehab, and I don't want to, use anything
Yes,
that
the drops. Yeah, the drops are actually better than the grain. Yeah. So if you're actually
drops.
getting the drops, it's actually, yeah, because it's pure. It's more pure than it's less processed, right? So it's got
Yeah.
to be processed to get the grains, right? So it's less processed. So it's like drinking cane juice versus the sugar. There's so
Okay.
the stevia drops are actually more healthy.
Okay.
So if you want to get
Okay.
stevia drops and then you put less in there because it's sweeter too, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you for that.
you're welcome. Does anybody have any questions for either of us before we sign off? So you can always contact me at the nutrition lawyer um, at no info sorry info at nutrition info at the nutritionlawyer.com, info at the nutritionlawyer.com, or nutritionlawyer at gmail.com. So actually, let me put that in the chat. And of course, I'm on YouTube and I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok and I'm on Facebook
And your
or
rehab needs to be everywhere. We need that. We need this rehab everywhere with all those, hashtag because it works.
thank you everyone for joining us, and please send any questions to us. Happy to answer. And I'm so grateful that Marcia shared her story with with us, because it's so important to know that there are people who are actually on the program who it's benefiting, and it can help others as well. And so a lot of people who are on the program would never even come and do an interview. They wouldn't even come, and they're just too shy. And some people
Don't
I
be
didn't
shy.
even know they were even on the program. They're doing it, but I didn't even know until today that a whole bunch of people were on doing it, and they're like, "Oh, I've lost 15 pounds, I've lost 20 pounds." And I'm like, "What? And what are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, we're doing your program." I'm like, "What?" So
Don't be
I'm so
shy.
grateful, Marcia, that you had the courage to come and tell your story. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And we'll bring you back in a few more months,
Oh yeah, I'll be
right?
happy.
To see how
Yes,
the
please.
journey is continuing for you.
Yes, please. Thank you. It's my
Thank you
pleasure.
so
Thank
much,
you for having me.
everybody, and
Big up
have a
everyone on the show.
wonderful
It's
evening.
all a pleasure.
Cheers. Cheers to healthy living.
That's right.